Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of the Diz Unplugged, coming to you live from the Bob Varley studio in Orlando, Florida. I'm your host, Pete Werner, joined at the table this week by my good friends Paul Krieger.
Hey, everybody.
Erica Resnick.
Hi, friends.
Teresa Ackles.
Hey.
And from movingtoorlando.com, Mr. Ruben Colon.
Hello there.
And our producer this week, BigFatPanda.com's Big Fat Panda, John Sicari.
Nervous, producing live, but trying my best. Let's see if this goes smooth.
Your shot's a little wide. I didn't see your shot before we...
You can't change it. Do you know what it's like to get up there?
I'm not getting on the chair right now, that's for sure.
I'm sure as hell not getting on the chair. His camera is like above me, like near the ceiling. And so when we have to change it, somebody's got to stand on this chair and do that. But welcome, folks. It is so good to be back after my month-long trip to Tucson, Arizona, which actually was wonderful. I got everything I needed going out to Cottonwood, Tucson was the name of the facility I was in to kind of just reinforce my recovery, my sobriety. And what a phenomenal facility. I just want to talk about it a little bit before we get into the show. This is not just for alcohol and drugs, this facility. It also deals with psychiatric issues, anxiety, depression, and PTSD. And you guys have heard me talk in the past about my respect for the men and women who serve in the armed forces and for first responders. That respect that I have has never been higher than it is after the month I just spent in Tucson. A number of veterans and first responders, nurses, EMTs, were at the facility. And hearing their stories, seeing what they deal with as a result of their service, but more importantly, watching them get better, just absolutely affected me in ways I can't describe. Community at Cottonwood was phenomenal. The staff, the therapists were phenomenal. My therapist, who may be watching right now, Randy Rutherford, was incredible with me, and I'll be grateful to him for the rest of my life. But for those of you who pay attention to the shelf behind me, you will notice right there a painted rock that says, "Stop it." I made that because you know you're in on a psych ward when you're painting rocks. But that comes from a video that Randy showed us. He shows it to all of his clients, and it became a running joke the entire time we were there. And I want to show you this video so you understand why that rock is there. Are we ready?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead and run it.
Dr. Switzer?
Yes, come in. I'm just washing my hands.
I'm Catherine Bigman. Janet Carlisle referred me.
Oh, yes. Still being buried alive in a box.
Yes, that's me. Should I lay down?
Oh, no, we don't do that anymore. Just have a seat. And let me tell you a bit about our billing. I charge $5 for the first 5 minutes, and then absolutely nothing after that. How does that sound?
That sounds great. Too good to be true, as a matter of fact.
Well, I can almost guarantee you that our session won't last the full 5 minutes. Now, we don't do any insurance billing, so you would either have to pay in cash or by check.
Wow. Okay.
And I don't make change.
All right.
And go.
Go.
Well, tell
What?
me tell me about the problem that you wish to address.
Oh, okay. Well, I have this fear of being buried alive in a box. I start thinking about being buried alive and I begin to panic.
Has anyone ever tried to bury you alive in a box?
No, but truly thinking about it does make my life horrible. I mean, I can't go through tunnels or be in an elevator or in a house, anything boxy.
So what you're saying is you're claustrophobic.
Yes, that's it.
All right, well, let's go, Catherine. I'm going to say 2 words to you right now. I want you to listen to them very, very carefully. Then I want you to take them out of the office with you and incorporate them into your life.
Well, shall I write them down?
Well, if it makes you comfortable, it's just 2 words. We find most people can remember them.
Okay.
You ready?
Yes.
Okay, here they are. Stop it!
I'm sorry?
Stop it!
Stop it?
Yes, S-T-O-P, new word, I-T.
So, what are you saying?
You know, it's funny. I say 2 simple words, and I cannot tell you the amount of people who say exactly the same thing you're saying. I mean, this is not Yiddish, Catherine. This is English. Stop it.
So, I should just stop it.
There you go. I mean, you don't want to go through life being scared of being buried alive in a box, do you? I mean, that sounds frightening.
It is.
Then stop it.
I can't. I mean, it's been with me since childhood.
No, we don't go there. Just stop it.
So I should just stop being afraid of being buried alive in a box.
You got it. Good go. Well, it's only been 3 minutes, so that will be $3.
Actually, I only have a 5, so
Well, I don't make change.
then I guess I'll take the full 5 minutes.
Fine. All right. Well, what other problems would you like to address?
I'm bulimic. I stick my fingers down my throat.
Stop it! What are you, a nut of some kind? Don't do that.
But I'm compelled to. My mom used to call me fatty.
No. No, we don't go there.
But I've been having this dream.
No, we don't go there either.
But my horoscope did say...
We definitely don't go there. Just stop it. What else?
Well, I have self-destructive relationships with men.
Stop it! You want to be with a man, don't you?
Yes.
Well, then stop it. Don't be such a big baby.
I wash my hands a lot.
That's all right.
It is?
I wash my hands all the time. There's a lot of germs out there. Yeah, don't worry about that one.
I'm afraid to drive.
Well, stop it! How are you going to get around? Get in the car and drive, you kook. Stop it!
You stop it! You stop it!
What's the problem, Catherine?
I don't like this. I don't like this therapy at all. You're just telling me to stop it.
And you don't like that?
No, I don't.
So you think we're moving too fast? Is that it?
Yes. Yes, I do.
All right, then let me give you 10 words that I think will clear everything up for you. You want to get a pad and a pencil for this one?
All right.
Are you ready? Mm-hmm. All right, here are the 10 words. Stop it or I'll bury you alive in a box!
So, for those who just joined, you might have joined in the middle of that, I was just saying, that this was a comedy bit that my therapist out in Tucson would play for us, and explaining the existence of the Stop It rock behind me. And that was just a running joke the entire time. So every time, like, one of us would share something, one of us would turn around and say, "Stop it! Just stop it." It was, it was a good experience. It was a really, really good experience. And I'm glad I went. I'm really, really glad I went. I would recommend it to anyone. To anyone. I would send a family member there, is how good it was. So, now the therapy was good. The food, the food wasn't bad, but I didn't drink coffee for a month because the coffee was that bad.
What?
I didn't drink coffee for a month. I had a couple cups of that coffee, and I'm like, nah, I'll kill myself. Which you want to watch Staying at a Psych Facility.
I can confirm he had Folgers Instant in his luggage.
Yeah. And then, on one outing, we went to Barnes & Noble, and there was a Starbucks there. And they had the blonde roast, because I won't drink the regular Starbucks, because I don't like my coffee burnt. And I must have had 3 cups, and I didn't sleep for 2 days. But I'm back to coffee now that it's my coffee. But no, it was a great experience, and I want to thank you guys for being so supportive. The messages I've been getting have been tremendous. I can't thank you enough. Thank you for being supportive of the team. Thank you to my team for doing such a great job while I was away. It was so nice to be able to do this and not worry. Not that I didn't think about it or wasn't concerned about it. I just didn't have to worry about it because I knew I know I have a phenomenal team of people working with me, and they sure as hell proved that to me, if there was any doubt. So, all right, enough of all that. Couple of housekeeping things I need to address. First of all, I want to give a plug to my good friend Ruben Colon here from movingtoorlando.com. If you are looking or interested in talking to someone about moving to the Orlando area, Ruben, R-U-B-E-N, at movingtoorlando.com. And I'm also announcing that we're adding a new official sponsor to the show for the first time in years. Obviously, DreamsUnlimitedTravel.com, of which I'm one of the owners. But FLTours.com. We've been doing business with FL Tours, transportation company here in Orlando. We've been doing business with them for years. Mo, who owns the company, is a very good friend of mine. It's who I use. It's who I use going back and forth to the airport, going back and forth to Port Canaveral especially. So I'm going to ask your support for Mo. Small business, definitely took a hit during the pandemic, is really trying to rebuild his business and working his butt off to support his family. So please show him your support. If you're going to book transportation from Orlando International to either the Port Canaveral or Disney or Universal Resorts, FLTours.com. And I keep debating if I should do this or not, but I'm going to. We have a full-time position open on our team for our content team. Eligible candidates, I don't know why I bother saying this, nobody listens. Eligible candidates should already be in the Central Florida area. You have to have strong writing skills and, not be a douchebag.
Mm-hmm.
That would help.
Great qualifications.
Those are
Yes.
great qualifications for a job. And understand, people look at the jobs we do and think, this is so easy. It's not. It's a lot of work that goes into this behind the scenes that you guys never see. You guys see the finished product. You don't see how the sausage gets made. So we're looking for somebody with an aggressive work ethic. We're looking for someone passionate about the parks. And it is a full-time position with benefits. So if you are interested, I didn't even think about, if you're interested, Pete@DisneyInfo.com, send that to me, and I'll distribute it with your resume. Be in the Central Florida area. If you are not, and you send me a resume, I'm going to ignore it. Be in the Central Florida area. Pete@DisneyInfo.com. Okay. I think I've gotten through everything I wanted to get through in housekeeping. A lot to talk about today. The show may very well run long.
I have a little housekeeping.
Oh.
May I share?
Sure.
All right. I want to talk about the Adventures by Disney trip exclusive podcast, Backstage Magic, October 1st to October 6th. We're looking to fill some spots. I'm personally looking, there's a new exciting thing that's been added to the trip. Pete, I don't know if you know about it or not. I'm going.
Oh.
So I want people that I like going, which is everybody, right? Erica, you should go. So anyway, it's, like I said, October 1st to October 6th. It's based on double occupancy. It's $79.98 per couple, 2 people in a room. A single is $5,999 5-night Hollywood Disneyland trip. A lot of good behind-the-scenes info.
Oh, no, it's incredible.
It's incredible. And I encourage anybody to contact Kevin at dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. But you'll be traveling with me. And that's a plus.
Am I on that trip? I should be on that
You
trip.
should be on that trip. If
I
I'm
should
going,
be.
you should be there, right?
Yeah, because that's how it works.
No, but it'd be fun, right?
Yeah, that would be fun.
I haven't done it in a couple years, and I'm either going with my sister or my daughter Stella. They're battling it out now. Who's going to go with me?
Like Hunger Games.
It is. It's the Hunger Games at my
You gotta
house.
fight for the spot, man.
Right?
All right, anything else for housekeeping? Okay, because we're 20 minutes into this show and we haven't talked about anything yet. I had, got to make up for lost time. All right, so first thing I want to talk about is the new Tourism Oversight District that was appointed by Florida Governor Ron DeSantis held its first meeting and came out of the gate swinging. During the meeting, the 5 members appointed to the new board mostly listened to the public and workers, with AP News reporting that the group, quote, hinted Wednesday at future controversial actions they may take, including prohibiting COVID-19 restrictions at Disney World and recommending the elimination of 2 cities that were created after the Florida legislature in 1967 approved the theme park resort's self-governance. Those 2 cities being, of course, Bay Lake and Lake Buena Vista. We're talking about eliminating those. This is where I have to walk a tightrope, because this is political, folks. Make no mistake, there is no part of this that is about doing what's right. This is about doing what is political. Our governor is going to run for president. This bolsters his bona fides with his base. It's why he did it. Make no mistake about that. There is no argument to be made here. In my opinion, there's no argument to be made that this was necessary. This was done for political reasons. And how far this board can go, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what their power actually extends to. But what they can do is hold up projects as leverage One of the things I heard was that they want more oversight over the content of what goes into the parks.
Sure, Walt Disney's turning in his grave right now about this kind of stuff. Jeez.
Now, look, if you want to make the argument that Disney maybe hasn't paid its fair share of taxes, or has special treatment that is not afforded to Universal Orlando, you can make that argument. That's a legitimate argument to make. But it was the deal that was struck with the Florida legislature by Walt Disney in order to build Walt Disney World here. And the only reason it's going away is Bob Chapek inserted himself into a political discussion. And this was the reaction in a polarized political environment. And I'd said it at the time that if Bob Iger had been chairman, this never would have happened. Mm-hmm. This was just one of many, many, many things that Chapek did that led to his eventual ouster, which I still can't believe they kicked him out. I did not think that was going to happen. I mean, I wanted it to happen.
I mean, bravo, honestly. I mean, I was shocked, honestly. I mean, of course, I'm cheering. I'm sorry about, any Chapek fans, the very few of you guys out there.
Who's a Chapek fan? I haven't met one.
I'm sure he has like 3 or 4
There's
people
like
out there.
5 people that support him.
There's a couple, his family, friends, all that stuff. But for the most part, no, I'm happy he's out. I mean, there's a lot to blame. I know there's some other stories that we're talking about too, but I just feel like, he really dug a huge hole for Disney. And, this is just one of the not small, but one of the things that he kind of started. I mean, he caused this. And I agree. I think Disney, they're lucky with what they have. But like you said, it's the agreement that was discussed like back in 1967, I think it was, right? 1967?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so it was agreed back then. And Disney pays for all the taxes for all that, right? Like, they handle everything over there, don't they?
That's my understanding.
Yeah.
But they get what Reedy Creek Improvement District does is it's basically Disney's quasi-political arm. They don't have to go through the city or the state to zone their property. They decide they want to build a theme park. They can zone it. Now, when Universal wants to build a property, they have to go through the regular channels. That's why it takes so much longer for them to do that. Now, Disney's going to have to basically go through that process as well.
Because of Chapek.
What?
Because of Chapek.
Chapek. So, how that... I believe that right before this board convened, the old board approved a whole bunch of stuff.
Yep.
A whole bunch of stuff, including including land for a fifth gate, among other projects, which tells me Disney is probably going to respond to Epic Universal's new theme park that they're building with another theme park.
Yeah. They certainly put in place the steps to make that an easy process for themselves. But I absolutely love Disney's position right now in all of this, which is like, we're just going to sit back and watch what you guys do, and our lawyers are going to just keep writing it all down, because depending on how far this goes, you don't know. There could be a legal battle down the road or something like that. But
well, I don't know that this board really understands the political genius of not just Bob Iger, but of Josh D'Amaro. Understand that, I've said it many, many times before. I've told Josh himself to his face, you're going to run for governor of California. This guy has a political instinct like nobody I've ever met before. And he's really, really good at it. He responded to this, what's going on with the new Reedy Creek board, by saying, the reality is we work with different people around the world at our different theme parks, so we know how to work with different people. For all those reasons, I have to look at the situation of where we are going, and I believe in where we're going, and I hope the board sees the same. very politically appropriate comment to make, right? I just don't think they realize how good this guy is. And I got my popcorn out. Josh is so good. And I'm interested to see how this goes. But I think you're right, Paul. I think the lawyers are taking notes. And this issue is not, just because this board is convened, doesn't mean Disney's not going to challenge this in court.
And everybody on the board, DeSantis appointed, right?
Yes.
So he picked these people.
And understand, we have some nut jobs on this board. Let's just be clear. I think the guy leading the board is quoted as saying that drinking tap water makes you gay.
Oh, that was him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay? Let's savor that for a moment. Drinking tap water makes you gay.
Right.
So I understand what we're dealing with here. He went to the local insane asylum to appoint this guy. He went to so we're not dealing with rational, reasonable people here. We're just not. But I'm very interested to see how this continues to play out because this story's not done yet.
It's a conspiracy I've never heard before.
About the tap water?
Yeah.
Well,
It's the-
because like we're on our meds and he's not. And it's insane. It's purely insane.
Yeah. It's just the beginning. This is just the beginning of this. We'll see where it goes.
Another comment Josh made, if that new board understands the value that gets created here and how it positively impacts the Central Florida community, I think they will be aligned with our vision and will carry on the Reedy Creek soul that's been in place. He went on to say, we will stay focused on what we've always done. Look at how we run our business. Look at the investments we're making in our business. As long as I can keep providing that, take care of our cast members, the Central Florida community, and take care of the guests, I'm in good shape. I can only control what I can control. Again, politically, exactly the right things to say. Exactly the right things to say. You don't hear Josh D'Amaro making gaffes. You're not going to hear him make any gaffes. But he's a political animal. He's got the instinct for it. He's the right man to be running Disney Parks and Resorts right now.
Well, it makes you step back and think, where would Orlando be if it wasn't for Disney? What would this town and city look like? How many job opportunities
Florida would
there
be Alabama again. It would just be another southern state.
Another southern state.
Yeah.
So, all right. Something else that caught my attention, as Bob Iger has been on what I will coin his listening tour, because he is obviously hearing what's being said, at least by the fan community. Now, whether or not he's going to do anything about it, that remains to be seen. But I thought it was stunning that on a conference call with Forbes magazine, he acknowledged they've gone too far with pricing. That they've gone too far with, it's tempting to let more people in. We're talking about crowds. It's tempting to let more people in, but if guest satisfaction levels are going down because of crowding, that doesn't work. And this is why that statement right there, by the way, because I always get asked, is our park passes going away? No, they're not. That statement basically confirms that park passes are not going away. That they do want to control, they have to control the crowds in the parks. But their approach to it has been less people in the parks, charge them more. And by charging them more, you'll get less people that can't afford it. Iger is saying here that policy has gone too far. That it has gone too far. And I'm interested. That's great that he feels that way, that he sees that, because we've been saying it for, 2 years now, that it's going too far. What's he going to do? What's he going to do? Are they going to scale back pricing? I doubt it.
Yeah.
I doubt it. Are they going to
Add value back.
Yeah.
They need to.
Well, they can't. I mean, they can't add value back without spending money. And this is a company that has a history of, if we have to spend money, we're going to charge more money. Which I get. It's a business. But I'm just curious if this is how he feels, if he says they've gone too far. What are you scaling back? What are you scaling back? Because let's be honest. I have to be honest. The experience isn't worth what they're charging for it. The experience isn't worth what they're charging for it. And that's coming from a hardcore, my God, how much more hardcore could I be as a Disney fan? And because this, like I said, sentiment is great. What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it?
It's a difficult position to be in for Disney, honestly, because one of the biggest complaints was the crowd control. Like, a lot of people complain about the crowds and how busy the parks always were. And, they thought the solution was to raise the prices and, and control less people going to the parks. And, in my opinion, it was still pretty busy. So I don't know if it really changed that much. But, it's a really difficult situation to kind of fix where they're at. I don't know what they could possibly do. They can't backpedal. They can't, really add value, like you said, without, costing them more money. So I don't really know a solution that works out for them and makes people happy, honestly.
Discounts.
Yeah. But it is crowded. Okay, there's no doubt about it. I was in Animal Kingdom yesterday. Mm-hmm. The line for the safari was all the way past Tusker House. Okay, they had the guy with the little line start to your thing by the bridge that enters into Africa.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So, and I get it, spring break just started. Mm-hmm. But if you're saying these huge crowds are impacting the guest experience and you're trying to change that, well, nothing has changed because it was horrible. The line was enormous, and there were people shoulder to shoulder, cast members screaming to get everyone in one line and out of the way. It was a whole thing. So that's where my question comes into place. I don't really think they're doing much to control said crowds. I think these numbers are for, how do we staff the park? How are we going to do this? How are we going to have crowd control with people moving people throughout the parks and making space? But it's just been so crowded every time I go.
Right, and that's kind of the big issue is that, they tell us, hey, we're charging you this much more money, we're charging a lot more money, and the crowd's really not changing that much, so what are we paying for then? That's exactly the reason that you gave us. That's what they told everybody whenever they were raising it. They were we want to help with crowd control because that's our biggest complaint. Well, crowd control is still a thing, so I guess it's not doing that great of a job.
I've always said that the whole park pass system has absolutely nothing to do with controlling crowds. No. Nothing. As Erica has pointed out and other people have pointed out multiple times, parks are still crowded. Parks are still crowded. But this is about analytics. This is about, your point's well taken, that, yes, staffing. How much do we need to staff our parks based on the number of people we're anticipating are coming in, the number of people that have park reservations. But it's about analytics. This is an analytics-driven company. They know so much about you when you book a vacation with them. They know so much about you after you travel to Disney World. They know what rides you've been on. They know where you shopped, what you bought, what you ate. They know what you like. And I get it. I get it. I mean, look, analytics is really important to my business too. I don't know who the hell you are, though. I can't boil my analytics down to the individual. They can. They can. And they can tailor things, tailor experiences. This is all part of that. Park passes are all a part of that analytics. It's an amazing operation. It's an amazing operation. There's a reason after 9/11, the Department of Defense came to Disney to find out how they manage their crowds. This was, 2001, 22 years ago, because they were so good at it. Remember how they used to literally have your fingerprint?
Mm-hmm.
They literally had your fingerprint. So Disney is known for this. I don't think, I'm happy that for annual pass holders, they're doing away. I think that happened while I was gone. Annual pass holders starting in April will not have to make park pass reservations.
For after, if you're going to visit like after 2 p.m., you don't need one.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, but I think they've created a tiered system here that we will never get away from when it comes to a Disney vacation now. And I think how they potentially balance this is they're going to continue to increase that upper echelon number of how much it costs for these extra experiences, Genie Plus, all of that kind of stuff, VIP, the deluxe hotels. They'll just continue to crank that up. They may keep this base package affordable to the average family, but you're not going to get all of those additional benefits. And I wonder if that's what we begin to see them shift around with from a marketing perspective.
Well, that's a good segue into another story I wanted to talk about. And I think, is this the part of the show where I do the I Was Right dance?
This is the song. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I was right and you were wrong. I'm going to sing the I Was Right song. When Disney announced Starcruiser, I dubbed it the Hotel Ishtar. If you're not sure what that reference is, Ishtar was a movie back in, I think it was the late 70s, early 80s, that starred Warren Beatty and Dustin Hoffman, went dramatically over budget, had all sorts of production problems, was supposed to be this big epic, and it was a complete flop. It was a complete flop. So when the pricing was announced for Starcruiser, I dubbed it Hotel Ishtar.
And a lot of people were upset at me on that episode. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
I was there on that episode.
And, yeah, I was right. And the reason I can say I was right, this is all part of their making Disney too expensive for the average person. A 2-night experience is $5,000. Right? It's 2 nights.
Yeah.
2-night experience, $5,000 for 2 people. $5,000, $2,500 a night to do this. And I said at the time, it's unsustainable. And lo and behold,
It's unsustainable.
it's unsustainable. And they are running discounts. That's what first started earlier this year. They started running discounts on it. Now they're actually canceling dates because they don't have the people to fill this thing. I said at the time, you're going to get that initial rush of Star Wars fans who are going to pay for this. But that's going to die off. It's not something you're going to do every year. You're not going to do it every year. It's too expensive. You can do so many other things, even at Disney World, so many other things with that money.
I have the sincere question. With all their analytics and all their surveys, how did they not foresee that coming?
It's their arrogance. It's their arrogance. They have had so much success for so long. And they thought that the technology of this was going to wow people so much that they bend over backwards to give them this money. And it's not happening. It's just not materializing. Even Star Wars, a friend I met out in Tucson, huge Star Wars fan. She's got the costume, she's got everything. She goes to conventions, can't afford it. And she has a good job. She's told me flat out, no, I can't afford that. I can't afford that. And what I think is going to end up happening is they're going to jettison the whole cosplay BS that they're doing with this, the mandatory fun.
Mandatory fun.
They're gonna jettison that, and this is going to turn into a regular hotel, a very themed boutique hotel that I'm sure will be expensive. It's not going to be cheap. It's not going to be all stars.
You think they'll do away with the 2-night stay and it'll just be?
I think they're going to have to. Yeah. I think you get a lot more people going to stay there if that was just their hotel for their Disney World vacation.
Yeah. You could even still have some measure of cosplay, 1 or 2 walk around characters that are there all the time, and that's it. Not the whole production.
And I think that interactive element is something that we don't consider with why it's failing as well. Amy and I were talking with Elaine Edwards, Dreams Unlimited travel agent, the other day, and she made a great point. This is like, when you look at a Venn diagram here of the clientele that they're trying to find for this hotel, you've got a bubble of wealthy people, you've got a bubble of Star Wars fans, and you've got extroverts, which I'm a Star Wars fan, not wealthy, and I'm definitely not an extrovert. And you gotta find the middle of all three of these for this to actually be a fully enjoyable experience for you. And that's just there's
and that's
not
a
enough
very
people.
very limited market. Very limited market.
Yeah, what makes it even more limited is that, so when I was on the show, when they first announced it, I was on that show, and I was the one at the table saying, oh my gosh, I would definitely pay that amount of money. I would definitely do it 100%. Problem is I'm married. So my wife was not going to let me pay $5,000 to do a Star Wars experience. So I didn't get to do it. I was on the show. I was like, no, I would totally do this. I can dress up like Kylo Ren or like a Jedi, and I would have a blast. I would enjoy it so much. I would love the experience. But, trying to convince someone who's not a Star Wars fan, my wife, to do it, who obviously doesn't check any of those bubbles, it's very unlikely, and that doesn't happen. I feel like I don't want to go do it by myself. So it was a situation where it's just like, okay, I really want to do this. It's an experience I want to have. But, I'm the only person probably in the world that wanted to pay that amount to do it. And I had, obviously I was with someone that thought it was too much money, which it is. It definitely is. It's a really cool experience. I wish it was more affordable, where more people could do it, because it looks incredible. And anybody that's a Star Wars fan, I think they would have a blast, just kind of almost role playing, kind of like a year-round Comic-Con almost. And that's kind of what I picture this as. And I was excited for it. Never got to do it.
And I have to imagine that the people who are responsible for filling this hotelish store must be crapping their pants. Because normally what Disney does, when they have an occupancy issue, they run a discount. Problem solved. Problem solved. You have an occupancy issue at deluxe resorts, you do a promotion. Well, they did that here. They did that promotion. And clearly it didn't work. And the way I know it didn't work is they're now canceling dates. Those are the dates they were trying to fill with these discounts. And they can't. They can't. So this is not a recession issue. This is not anything other than the entire premise of this boondoggle was flawed from the beginning, and it was obvious to anyone with a pulse and an IQ above 70.
Yeah, we're seeing supply and demand play out now.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. So the only solution they have, they're not going to shut it down. They spend too much money on it. They have to reinvent this from the ground up, though. They have to reinvent the business model behind it. And the only solution they really have, unless I'm missing something, is turn it into a hotel.
This is interesting, and I can't say this is correct. It's rumor. Somebody in the chat room suggested that they know that a mix is coming, a combo. Regular hotel stays during the week and the full thing on the weekend. I could see that as they transition.
That's actually a good idea, though. I mean,
I think that would be a better alternative in that sense. Or,
If it was, a regular hotel stay,
Yeah.
I'm all in.
but like,
I'm all
what
in.
if they did like a regular hotel stay and then like you had 4 chances throughout the year where they would do that like cruise style, super immersive experience, and you had 4 chances. I feel like that would fill up because it's more of an exclusive moment, because I just don't think that what it is right now is feasible.
Or even
for
once
lot
a
of people.
month. You
Yeah.
know? Do one weekend, first weekend of the month is the all-inclusive Star Wars experience. The rest of the month is a regular hotel.
I like what you said. I mean, that's actually a really good idea, because then it would be like a Disney hosted kind of like Star Wars con kind of like event. So that's actually a really good idea, I think. And I think a lot of people would sign up for that, honestly. If it just happens like once a year for like maybe like a week or 2 weeks out of the year, just like an event, and it's just like basically Disney's Star Wars con.
Now, make no mistake, if they go this route, if they go the hotel route, we're going to be talking about $500, $600, $700 a night.
Yeah.
All right, it's not going to be a couple $100 a night now. It's going to be deluxe level pricing. But I don't think they have any alternative. I don't think they have any possible alternative than to do this.
And if it does become a hotel, they could easily add a pool if they wanted to, because there is no pool.
Oh, they'd have to. Yeah, there would be things that would have to change. Mm-hmm. But I think even without a pool, it would still sell. I'd be all in.
Yeah, for
I'd be
$500
all
a night.
in
Me too.
if I didn't have to do the cosplay thing and all
You
that
don't
other
have
nonsense.
to, do you?
I still would do the cosplay thing.
Of course you would.
I would still bring at least like one outfit.
Yeah.
All right. Do you have that image I sent you yesterday queued up? All right. I want to talk a little bit about something I came across. And I don't know, I wasn't able to find out whether or not it can't be an official partnership. This cannot be an official partnership with Disney. There's no way.
No.
And I'm not sure how they're getting away with this. But Design House, Maison Margiela, during their Paris fashion show, debuted a number of looks that included Disney characters in the fashion they're bringing for spring. Take a look at this image.
Can't.
Okay? This is...
Hold on, for the people that are listening and can't see Teresa's face.
What the hell's wrong with him?
Okay. Well, first of all, he's got a cigarette hanging out of his mouth. Mickey Mouse has a cigarette hanging out of his mouth. And I shit you not, a needle in his arm.
I can't.
Oh my gosh, I didn't see that.
And he's got is his ear tattooed? What the
Yeah, he's
heck?
got like something in his ear. I can't.
Now listen, I'm a huge fan of Maison Margiela. I've got a number of their pieces, their bags, their clothes. I'm a huge fan of Maison Margiela. I'm a huge fan of their shoes. I'm a huge fan of their cologne.
What the heck?
This, what the actual F word.
Did they do mini too, like Krakow?
Well,
mini?
I didn't see that.
Well, no.
This is the one I saw.
Oh,
Didn't
okay.
like isn't Mickey Mouse supposed to be potentially becoming like Disney's been keeping it away from it, but it's potentially becoming like public domain? Because I know like a lot of the
Yeah, I heard
characters.
that too,
Yeah, so a
yeah.
lot of the characters were created like back then. Like Winnie the Pooh's already become public
After
domain.
so
That's
many
why we
years.
got like a horror
Yeah.
Winnie the Pooh movie. And like so after so many years, I think it's like 50, 60,
Guys,
I don't remember.
Talk
what it was.
amongst yourselves. I got to run to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
Well, whatever the number was, I don't know how
There
many
was
years.
a number. After so many years, it becomes public domain.
Yeah,
I
and
read
I
that
think
too.
with Mickey, though, they always find a way to extend it. They can't let Mickey become
Well, because
public
Mickey's
domain.
like, he's the face of it all. Like when you're learning and training for character performer, they tell you like Mickey is the host of Disney. Like he is
Well,
the
he's aged and he's.
I know he's supposed to
He
be
needs
like
to go to
this
rehab. What the heck was
elegant
that?
boss, man in charge kind of character, and to see that, I'm like,
Now-
what is going on?
If they put "Just Stop It" on this shirt, we could possibly buy it then. Just stop it.
Petition to save Mickey. No, I mean that's honestly
Poor
what it probably
Mickey.
came down to. Is just characters become public domain, and I get like I think they've been pushing Mickey for so long about avoiding the public domain, but the fact is the law is the law. So like technically stuff has to become public domain. That's what the law says.
Yeah, I think it's Steamboat Willie in 2024 is
Yeah.
who will be coming out, and then has anyone seen Winnie the Pooh? Winnie the Pooh, like I think, lost his public
did-
domain.
they
last
did.
That's
year.
why you got blood and
Yeah.
honey right now.
Disney's been real
So
quiet.
how are they? Okay, so I just kind of Googled crack hoe mini, and so there's a video out called Mickey Mouse Crack House. So can they get away with it
instead of Mickey Mouse Clubhouse?
It's Mickey Mouse Crack House.
This is
And
we
Minnie's
have to
got
do-
a whip.
We have to talk
No,
about this
I
on
don't
the
know what they're doing.
the Patreon show. Just to mention, there is a Patreon after show. If you go to patreon.com/DizUnplugged, we'll probably
Why do I
talk
always
more
forget
about
to
this.
mention that at the
That's
top
okay.
of the show? I always forget to mention that.
You
Sorry.
had, you had a lot today to mention.
I think Peter Pan's next in line, by the way, because he just hit a public domain now, so he's released from public domain. So expect a Peter Pan scary movie.
So
next,
do we think this? If they actually sell that shirt, if that's not a joke, then Mickey Mouse must be in the public domain because there's no way
Can't be.
they have a partnership with Disney where Disney okayed
No.
that. There's no way. There's no
Needle
way.
in his arm. and
Yeah, he's not
smoking.
supposed to be in public domain yet, though. So I don't
And
understand.
it's Steamboat Willie public domain, not the regular.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't understand how that's possible.
Maybe that was modern day Steamboat Willie.
There you go.
I
messed
saw
up.
that. I saw that. And John Galliano, who's the designer for Maison Margiela, he's brilliant. This is all him. And
Maybe it's just on the runway and it's not for public consumption.
Could be.
You know,
I can't imagine they're going to sell that.
Oh, Disney would be
he
coming
needed a
at the
shave.
bar.
Poor
I
thing.
know, poor guy. He was looking rough.
He was. Corey, he's really old, but gosh,
It's all that stress he's been going through.
it is the
Yeah.
stress.
Yeah.
Chapek
Disney
did it
Plus
to
not
him.
doing good right now.
Yeah.
Chapek brought him down.
JPEG like bringing the company down. People coming out about the prices. It's a lot of stress.
Poor thing. I'm stressing about it now too. Poor Mickey. But if they have a crack home mini, I just can't imagine them doing that. But
I was flabbergasted when I saw that.
So how much can I get that shirt for?
right? Can we purchase that shirt?
Would anybody wear it?
No.
Anybody in this room? Would you wear that
No,
shirt?
no.
If it said "Just Stop It," maybe.
Just yeah, really.
Stop it.
I don't know.
Would you?
no.
Oh no. He's on the
Pete.
fence.
He means to say no. He would not.
I don't know.
It's funny, and you know what? Okay,
I wouldn't wear it at a Disney theme park. That's
No.
for damn sure.
but you got to find humor in a lot of things, or I end up crying all the time. And it's funny. It's just like an episode of some South Park or something. You know, they can be funny, but they're not politically correct.
Disney security will kick you out for wearing something
Oh
like
no,
that.
no question.
Yeah.
You'd be
No
banned.
question.
Banned for life.
You would
Can
be.
you imagine
would be
Pete Warner banned
trespassed
from Disney?
I would be trespassed for life
Walking
if I
you
tried to
out.
walk into a Disney theme park wearing, heroin Mickey.
Heroin Mickey.
Well, that's what it is. He
Might have been Ozempic. Oh, that would be in his stomach or his leg.
Could be yes, Ozempic. That's what they're going for.
Ozempic Mickey. He needs
They're
to
going
lose a
for
little.
Ozempic Mickey.
You know, it never actually says the name Mickey on there. It could just be a mouse, you know?
Right.
No, it's
Right.
Mickey Mouse.
Mackey Mouse.
Could be Maggie.
Throwing that out there.
Mikey Mouse.
Mikey.
Mikey
Michael
Mouse.
Moose. Michael Moose is his name.
That's crazy.
No, I
Where are you looking at where that came up in your world? You just found it?
well,
or
I mean, I have,
you were just
You
on
like
their
that
web.
fashion designer, though, right?
I do
Yeah,
love
so-
that designer. I do absolutely
you
love
got the latest.
Maison Margiela. And
Mickey down the alley. What the heck? It's just messed
speaking of clothes, my house looks like a clothing store exploded right now. I had no idea how much I ordered while I was out there. We only had access to our phones for a 30-minute period.
And you made full access.
Three times a day. Well, for most people, it was 2 times a day. You get special permission for a third by your counselor, and I got special permission.
And you shopped.
And I would go in there, and I was missing my life.
It's so easy to do, though. It's so easy.
And my mother would say, because my mother stayed here and watched the dogs, and she would say, Peter, what are you doing? Every day there's more packages coming. I woke up this morning to 5 packages sitting on my doorstep.
It's easy to do, though.
I went nuts. It is easy to do.
It's so easy. It's so, especially when it's all, your information's already in there. You just have to,
you just press the pay
right.
button and
Yeah,
it
I'll
has
just pay
everything.
this.
It's so easy.
Yeah, I did too much of that last week myself.
Apple Pay's the devil.
Apple
Yeah.
Pay is the
It
devil.
really is.
It really is. No, you're absolutely right. But all right, folks, that is going to do it for our show for this week. Thank you for joining us. It is so great to be back. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you again next week with another episode of The Diz Unplugged. If you're a Patreon supporter, stay tuned right after this for our Patreon after show. I'll see you next week. Take care, and remember, stay out of the damn lakes. Bye-bye. Do we not have an egg?